Hey everyone, when Banggood reached out to me and asked if I wanted to review the Blitzwolf FYE3S truly wireless earphones, I was a bit kind of hesitant at first because I was thinking that these are probably going to be very similar to the X9s that I reviewed in the past. There were a few features that jumped out at me when I had a look at the product, but are those new features worth me doing a new video for? And is this product any better than the X9? And is it worth it? That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So if you know me, you may already know this, but as strange as it may sound, I actually don't really care too much about the audio quality when it comes to true wireless earphones. When I'm using these earphones, I want them to last a long time, I want them to be convenient, I want them to be not too heavy, and it's that kind of thing that I'm thinking about when I'm using these earphones. And yeah, these earphones do a good job of that. As for what they do sound like, they're pretty bassy, their mid-tones are okay, but you know, not crystal clear, and the highs do kind of suffer a bit. They're not amazing, but overall, the sound's, you know, okay. It's kind of average for this price range, I'd say. But still, despite the low price tag of these earphones, I really like the earphones case. I like that it's kind of transparent on top. It just gives it a nice look so you can see the earphones within them. And they do feel pretty durable, and I know that they're kind of durable because I accidentally threw it against the door like earlier on today and they didn't break, they didn't even get a scratch. So I know that they're durable up to an extent, and just from feeling them, they feel like they'd be able to take a few knocks without getting damaged at all or showing any physical signs of damage or anything. And then when you open the case, inside them, as I said, you'll see the earphones. And these are really easy to get out. You can pull them out with one finger and it's not hard to get them out at all. They're just attached by magnets. And when you do pull them out, a display shows up. So at first, I was thinking that this display was going to be showing the battery life for both the earphones. I don't know how I thought that it would do that, but that's what I thought. Obviously, it doesn't do that. It wouldn't really make sense for it to do that. Instead, it shows the battery life of the case, which is kind of a step up from the X9s, because on the X9s it just showed it as 4 dots. On this one it shows it as an actual percentage, so you know exactly where it is. Although when the earphones finish charging they do flash blue, so you know that they're finished that way. And closing the lid and going down to the side of the earphones case, you'll see that there's a USB port as well as a micro USB port. So obviously the micro USB port is to charge the case, but the USB port is to charge other devices. So I probably am not going to be using this as a power bank. I haven't used it as a power bank so far. I've got speakers that have a USB port in them. I don't use that as a power bank either, really. For me, it's just kind of hard to remember that it's there, to be honest, to use it. And even if I did remember, this only has a 2,600 milliamp hour battery within it, which is plenty for the earphones. It can charge them a whole lot of times. I think it was 15 times that the website said. And then the earphones themselves last 2.5 to 3 hours. So it's plenty of battery life for that. But when you're thinking of charging a phone, which is in of itself most likely going to be over 3,000 milliamp hours, you're not even going to be able to charge the phone to full. So for me, that's not really a reason to use it. You'd only really use it, A, in an emergency, or B, if there's like a smaller device that you want to charge up that doesn't have that big of a battery itself. Or I guess you could just use it if you've got the earphones next to you, you've got a cable next to you, and you just can't be bothered to go and get a wall plug to plug it in. And as I said, I like using these earphones to watch movies, and unless you're talking about a movie like Endgame where you may have a few issues with battery life because that film's just so long, you're typically not going to run into any battery issues with these earphones. I mean, I don't remember a time where the earphones told me that they were low of anything. I've never really had the issue where I've had to put them back in the case and charge them before I use them, because they do, as the website states, last around 2.5 hours. I haven't had an issue with them in terms of that at all. And pretty much every time I've taken it out of the case, they've always been fully charged too. So they charge up quickly and they last a long time. So generally when I'm talking about these earphones, I never really have to worry about battery life with them. And another thing that I like with these earphones in regards to movies is the fact that they don't have a light on them while they're switched on, which is good for a variety of reasons. But for me, I like watching movies in bed at night. I like having all the lights off. So having the blue light on just lightens up the room more than I'd like. I know this is totally a first world problem. I am aware of that. But yeah, the light brightens up the room and it's not dark anymore. So I like it for that reason. So it's a pitch black room while I'm using them. How it achieves that and how it doesn't have to have the blue light on is because basically anytime it's out of the case, it's switched on. That's it. And anytime it's in the case, it's switched off. So this is a feature that some people may not like. You're not able to switch these earphones off while they're out of the case because all the gestures on the buttons are for different things. But yeah, I totally don't mind that. I usually just put these back in the case when I'm done with them. And the thing is, if you just leave these earphones lying around, they do just go into standby anyway, in which case they'll last a long time. So typically you're not going to have any battery issues even if you do leave them out. And yeah, as for what the touch surfaces can do in terms of controlling the earphones, tapping them once will stop and start the music as you'd expect. Tapping on them twice will not in fact skip forward a song as I was expecting them to do, but it will in fact launch your assistant, more on that later. And keeping your finger on the right one for a few seconds will go forwards a song. And holding the left one down for a few seconds will go back a song or go to the beginning of the song. And as for actually tapping the surfaces, I usually miss it when I want to tap them, to be honest. So I do usually have to go back and tap it again. For example, sometimes when I was trying launching the Google Assistant, it instead paused the song because I missed the first tap. So that may be something that annoys you, but again, for me personally, I don't usually use the touch surfaces anyway. And talking about connecting to devices, these earphones connect really fast to the latest device that you've used. But the issue arises in when you want to pair a new device. This is probably the most annoying process when it comes to these earphones, because you have to make sure that every other device is disconnected from them before they go into pairing mode, and you can then connect a new device to them. So I kind of wish there was just a button on the case or just something where you could manually put it into pairing mode, but that's just not a thing. So you will probably be having to go to the other side of the house to disconnect it from the iPad before you come back and then connect it to a new device. That's just something you're going to have to do. But thankfully, this is a one-off process, and connecting them to a device that they had been previously paired to is a lot easier. You go to the device, you start connecting to them before you've actually switched the earphones on, and then as soon as you start pairing to it, you pull the earphones out, and pretty much any time I've done this is always connected to the device that I've wanted it to connect to. So that's kind of a surefire way to choose what device these connect to. As I said, otherwise they'll just connect to your last used device. But something that hasn't worked for me every time, and I don't know if this is my phone or Google Assistant or the earphones, but every time I try to launch Google Assistant from my earphones and talk to them, it just didn't respond. Like, Google Assistant didn't make a sound when it popped up, although it did actually pop up on my phone, but it wasn't listening to me. And I tried to use Siri with it. That worked perfectly fine, so I don't know if it's an issue with Google Assistant, but if you're getting this to mainly use a lot with Google Assistant, just be wary of that. But yeah, other than those few drawbacks, I'd say that these earphones are kind of like a generation 2 of the X9s. Not that they're by the same company or anything, but strangely enough, they just seem to improve on pretty much everything that the X9 did. Like, if there was a second generation of the X9s, I'd imagine that they do stuff very similarly to how these earphones do, other than the name. The name is very hard to remember. I like the feel of the earphones in my ear a lot better. They have a really nice feel in my ear. Not that the X9s felt bad, but these just feel really good in the ear. There's also the fact that when you pull them out, they automatically switch on and they go off when you put them back in. I like that system better than having to like manually switch them on when they go in my ear. And yeah, overall they just seem to be a lot better than the X9. So if I was to choose between that and this, I'd go for this any day over that. It's just that much better. And I also like the light feature too. I don't like having the light on while it's switched on. So yeah, if you're not bothered about the sound quality, which isn't bad, but it's also not amazing, and you more want it just for convenience and, you know, the fact that there's no wires and there's no headband or anything, then I definitely recommend these. Just bear in mind the Google Assistant issue if you do plan on using Google Assistant with it a lot. And yeah, these are £30. So as I said, don't expect amazing sound quality. It's good, but not amazing. But yeah, if you are interested in these and you want to check them out, they are linked in the description down below. If you want to comment about these earphones or just anything in general, be sure to leave those in the comment section down below. And subscribe to see more reviews like this in the future. So for now, I hope you'll have a great day. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye. So if they don't have a blue light on them, you may be wondering, how do you know if these are switched on or off? On off.